Alright. Hello everybody, this is Jason from Overdripper. My webcam software is really not happy. It seems to think we have no audio. I've done this a couple times now and determined we do have audio. So today I want to talk about the Vapor Shark. This is the RDNA 40. So before we get into this, I want to quickly apologize to one of the 5 people who have watched my intro video. It was a couple months ago that I first put that video out and set up this channel. I immediately went through and recorded a whole bunch of videos for the DNA 40. I did the Sub Tank, I think I did the Atlantis, I did a couple of different mods and some drippers, and as I went through I didn't like any of them. And now here I am several months later and I don't have another video up. This is not the way I wanted to do this channel, so I'm pretty much committing to making sure that this video goes up. I will say a whole lot, and when I watch this again it's going to drive me crazy. So hopefully you'll get to see the progression and I'll get better at this to hopefully the point where I feel okay with what I put out. I will likely not be super happy with this video, but I gotta work the kinks out, and the videos that I record and don't do anything with aren't helping me do that, and it's also not helping anyone else maybe learn something. So the purpose of this channel, I can't even remember what that original video, what I said, but I live in Canada, so whenever possible I'm going to talk about the experience that's unique to Canada. So whether it be ordering online from Canadian vape shops, perhaps a local vape shop, so that's going to vary from city to city and province to province. If there's any legislation issues that come up throughout Canada, we'll definitely be talking about those. Or the reality of this unit. I had to order from the US and how that went. Or right now, we'll definitely be doing a video. I have recorded a pretty bad video, but I'll probably put it up. I have subscribed to the Zample Box subscription service and what that's like in Canada. So there's a lot that we're going to do, a lot that we're going to talk about, and it's not all going to be specifically Canadian by any means. In this Vapor Shark RDNA, I don't get to talk about the Canadian experience of ordering. Primarily because I actually pre-ordered this, so there was obviously a delay waiting for that to ship as it was. So nothing overly Canadian specific on this one, but whenever that is an issue or there is that Canadian viewpoint, I'll definitely be pointing that out. So back to the RDNA. So as I said, I pre-ordered this item. I had the RDNA 30, the predecessor, and I sadly fried it. The good thing was that I fried it like the day after the announcement of the DNA 40 chip, so I was only out about a month without having my DNA. So what is the Vapor Shark? Vapor Shark is a company out of Florida. They have some retail shops that do juice and vaping goods. They also make their own box. So the Vapor Shark company makes the box that houses Evolve's DNA 40 chip. So they build the box, they put in the chip made by Evolve, and then sell it as a Vapor Shark. So in this case it's the RDNA, it's a slightly larger version. It comes with a removable battery. So the nice thing when you order this, it's one of the few mods that I know of that uses an 18650 that ships it with an 18650. That's pretty rare. I know I have no other mods that I've purchased that come with an 18650. You always have to supply your own. So that's pretty awesome. It comes with the LG, the 35 amp 18650. Right now I've got a Sony VTC 4 in there. Comes with a the LG is a 2500 milliamp. Battery life is actually really good on this. Lasts me, depending on what I'm vaping, pretty much all day. The door is magnetic. So if you're familiar with the DNA 30, there was this really awkward screw you had to undo right here. Let's see if I can get close up. And again, I apologize, my setup is not a permanent setup. So we're going to be the person who does this. So this is going to be our close-up for this video right now because I'm not able to do a better one. So right on that little tab, oh man, light is not my friend. There we go. So right there on the 30 there was a screw you had to undo and it was annoying. This one is now magnetic, so it just slides out. My magnet actually came out. I have it, I'll re-glue it in, but it holds pretty good still even without that magnet there. I don't have many issues. While we're on this pseudo close-up, let's do a quick walk around. So here's the front side, the button. does, you can barely see that, but it does light up blue when you press it. When it's charging, it'll be red and turn green when it's fully charged. The up and down buttons for the variable wattage, it is wattage only, you cannot adjust by voltage. This side you've got the Vapor Shark logo with RDNA on it. That's totally upside down. It is nicely laser etched. It's not too deep, it's not rough feeling, it's just nice, it's etched, it's not going anywhere. This side comes with that USB, so onboard charging. It also comes with, this should be after, a wireless charger. So you can actually lay it down and it will charge. And if I had it plugged into anything, you'd get to watch that, but you don't. So that's pretty handy. It's often how I keep that at my bed when I have a tank on it, and I can just lay it on its side and charge it that way. Super, super handy. That comes built in. It used to be an add-on for the old one. What's on this side? The door, and then the bottom. Upside down. So that's the DNA 30 chip. That's their screen. This was a pre-order, the first batch of them. And since then, Evolve has updated their screen, so it's got larger print on it. I'll probably pop in a little inset video right over here so you can see the new screen, or even just a little photo to compare it. So hopefully you can see that well enough. But on the right-hand side, at least my right-hand side of my video, hopefully that doesn't change on you, is the 27.4 watts. So that's what I'm building at. The resistance is roughly 1.4. I think it's showing 1.38 right now, 1.39. And the voltage, you notice, is 0. The voltage doesn't show until you fire, and that's really bright. But the voltage ramps up, and it also will spike on you to get you up to heat quicker. Let's go back to autofocus. There we go. So I really like that. The last piece of the DNA 40, which we're going to do probably in a separate video, because I'll show a build on it as well, is the fact that it comes with temperature control. Now that temperature control works with a specific wire, and you can set a limit as to how hot it goes. There's two benefits to that. One, there is a boiling temperature to liquid. And for the most part, if you're pushing the temperature too high, you're losing flavor anyway, and most people don't want to vape up that high anyway. But if you're trying to, you're cloud chasing or whatever you're doing, there is a potential risk, health risk, to exceeding the boiling point of liquid. So this allows you to set a temperature limit so that you won't burn that juice. And it goes from like 200 to 600 degrees. The really nice thing about it, though, particularly with a tank, or really awesome with a dripper, is the fact that you will not ever, you set your temperature, I set typically around 450, you don't burn your cotton. So if you've ever dripped, or you've had a tank that's run dry, and you get that one hit and you start choking, apparently I'm role playing now, I apologize. That won't happen. You'll just lose flavor, and it'll start tasting like cotton, but it won't be burning it. In fact, you can actually, again, on that video, I'll probably do it, put in dry cotton, no juice, and fire it, and it won't burn. So that lack of a dry hit is what makes the temperature control amazing. I have it in a couple of my drippers, and I've actually heard that it can be really good in something like this. So right now, on top of my Vapor Shark, I've got the Kangertech Sub Tank Mini, and I do have the rebuildable section inside as opposed to the stock heads. So it's a fairly high VG juice, which meant that I needed to, why does it just refuse to hold a zoom level for me? Can we see that? The light, again, not helping, but you can see I've got roughly a quarter open. So 3/4 closed off. And that's largely due to the fact that it is a high VG. Just to make sure that I don't get dry hits and that it wicks okay. So it's not the largest amount of vapor of anything I have that can, produce. Just going to start randomly saying words. Produce vapor. Kind of good. It's not massive, but what I really like about the Sub Tank, and the Sub Tank Mini more than anything of the other versions, which another video, but is the feel. And the temperature and how this handles its voltage works fantastic. So at a 1.4, this was higher than I wanted, I didn't want to build it that high of a resistance. I was aiming for about a 0.8, but there's a new wire, hadn't used it before, threw the wraps in, and I came out to 1.4, and it's been really, really good. It's still warm. It's not hot. It's got great feel. The Vapor Shark can easily handle the 1.4 at that point. You can do basically the entire limit. And it's fantastic. And you know, for such a small mod, it makes this mini tank, which is really a standard size tank, but makes this mini tank look big. So I love that. You throw a dripper on here or a small tank, and it's darn near stealthy. So some of the downsides to the Vapor Shark that I've found. One, obviously, my magnet falling off of the door. I have some issues with the 510 pin inside is it's spring loaded, and it's gold plated, which is awesome. But that spring loading, particularly with this tank, when you screw in the rebuildable section, it pushes down sort of a floating pin, the 510 pin on the tank itself. And it doesn't push it down very far. And most of the time I have an issue with this not actually making contact, and it thinks there's no addy on it. So I have to really screw down the rebuildable section, and then I have to really screw down the entire tank to make sure it makes contact. I would like that spring to come up a little bit higher just so that you've got a little bit more room to play on short 510s. Because if you have a short 510, you might have issues with the Vapor Shark. The other piece is, when I didn't take this, see, I don't know if I can get it off now because I've got, there we go, cranked on, is the 510. So, oh man, I should have done this all at once. Sorry guys. I need better software for this. Maybe it's a better camera and not using a webcam. That might also be good. Okay. Seriously, change the focus. Okay, so you can see the juice cutouts there, and the nice thing about this one that not every mod does is the actual silver, the threads there of the 510. The juice cutouts actually continue right into them. So that's awesome. You screw something right down to the top of the unit, and that airflow goes right through. I don't really use anything that uses bottom fed airflow, but that's the option. The other semi-downside, you can kind of see it there as I move it around. Sorry for the dirty, juicy top, but if you look at the top of the metal threads and that metal housing, compared to the top of the actual Vapor Shark, like along here, you'll notice that it actually sits slightly below. Right there is a decent shot. You can see that dark ring around the top. It's not dramatic, but it is recessed below the top. Let's go back to not blurry face. Sits slightly below the top, slightly recessed. We're talking maybe 0.5 millimeter, but when you're dealing with an atomizer that you struggle to make contact with anyway, it would be nice to know that you're going down as far as you can, and I'm being stopped because the atomizer hits the top of this. Now it helps for flush mounting, obviously. I'm not going to have a gap, but it makes this short 510 atomizer a real pain to get on. I'm good this time. I'm on there. So yeah, so that's the Vapor Shark. Let's talk a little bit about size, because I don't know about anyone else. I don't know where you are in your vaping career, and your vaping experience. But I first started with a little click battery and a Kangertech Aero tank. That was my first buy. And then I bought the MVP, and I thought, hey, I'll try dripping. Now vaping or dripping with the MVP slightly seems ridiculous to me as it's 11 watts, but I thought, hey, let's do it. So I ordered my dripper, and I got it, and it, 22 millimeter dripper. All the videos I watched, they looked huge. I thought they were really wide, and my little stick battery, there's no way it would look ridiculous on there, and it still would look ridiculous on there, but by the time I got it, and it looked so small, I thought I ordered the wrong item. Same with the 18650s. They look like big batteries. All the videos I watch, they always seem so huge. So let's do a little size comparison. And unfortunately, I don't have anything major I can show you to compare it to, but I'll see what I can come up with. So in the vape world, here's that MVP version 2. If you have or know the MVP version 2, the shortest answer I have for you, Vapor Shark RDNA 40 is essentially the exact same size, only instead of going out of your hand, it ends roughly where the button is. They are roughly the same width. The Vapor Shark's probably a millimeter wider. They are the same across that way. And yeah, they're basically the same. It's just that height difference, and that's about it. Another comparison, so here's my IVP version 3. To give you a little bit better example of that one, it is considerably smaller. Considerably smaller. In fact, the RDNA, I don't know why I'm testing my luck by taking this off again, is not much bigger than the actual mini sub tank. What else can I compare it to? Anything on hand that people might have? I have an iPhone 6 Plus, which is probably the worst phone to try and compare it to because it's considerably smaller than my phone. Yeah, I don't have anything else that's particularly good to compare it to. My remote control, you know, real world, I don't know. I'll think about that for future videos. But it's a nice small device. I'm super rambling now. I can tell you I bought this when the dollar wasn't so crappy. And so at $100 and I want to say $85, you can get the cheaper DNA 40, not the RDNA, which comes with a built-in battery, for less. I should have looked that up beforehand, but it's roughly say 150. This was I think 189, and then the conversion and obviously the shipping you deal with getting to Canada, all in I was $225, and that included buying the wireless charger. So all in all, not bad. Right now it would cost me a lot more because the Canadian dollar sucks. So it's a great experience. I not for a moment ever regret getting this. In fact, I plan on ordering a DNA 40 chip and replacing the old DNA 30 that I fried in my old DNA 30. So then I'd have two DNA 40s. It's a fantastic device. For a vaping video, there has not been anywhere near enough vaping. So with that, I'll do a couple vapes, a couple drags, and I'll leave it at that. And hope to God I don't hate myself enough when I rewatch this and do a little bit of editing that I will actually post it, because it's about time I start getting stuff online. So with that, let's vape. My house fan just turned on. I don't know if you can hear that. That's not going to be great for the vaping section. It's a great experience. Fantastic mod. I really like the Addy. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Right now I'm realizing I don't have a little catchphrase for the end. I want to start quoting like Rip and Phil and Grim, but I'm not. Maybe I'll go with no exit. I'll just, you know, vape us out and say until next time. Thanks again, guys.